we are in Sant'Iono Galleria in Vilnius. There is an interesting exhibition, a photo exhibition, and we can interview the author of these photos, Mr. Ludo Segers.
Yes, well, thank you. The exhibition focuses, well, the title is Past, Present and Beguinages. Initially the working title, I can tell you, was Mysticism and Reality, but that was of course a little bit of a strong expression. But the Beguinages itself, in the past, present and Beguinages, the Beguinages themselves are a little bit of a, at least have some kind of mystique. And so the exhibition features several of the pictures of the Beguinages. It's kind of the central point, and from that evolves some situations in the past and the present.
What is your connection with Lithuania?
My wife is the main collection. It's also the reason why I came the first time to Lithuania, and I should tell you that unlike some other people, I was aware already as a child of the Baltic states, because my father had some stamps, and there was a stamp of Latvia. So I was aware that there had been these countries, but I never had been in this part of the world. The farthest east that I had been was Warsaw and in Krakow, but at another period. And so yeah, that was a very pleasant surprise, and you know, I started to know a number of people, and as it very often is, over and above the country and some of the sites. And of course Vilnius is a beautiful city, there is no doubt about that. So is Neringa and Nida, of which there are also several pictures here. But over and above all of that is of course the human factor is the most important, the people that live there, you know, and who I think are very open to foreigners, and so yeah.
Also about this exhibition, there are a lot of photos from different parts of the world, in Belgium, but not only.
No, that's true, yeah. The pictures of Belgium, and then about Belgium, it's basically these Beguinages, right? These places where pious women used to live and take refuge, history going back to the early 13th century. And the fact that there are 13 of those in Flanders that are UNESCO heritage sites. In total there are still about 28 of these Beguinages left. So these were, let's say, the main difference with the monastery is that, well, first of all, in history, right, monasteries, they have the history going back much earlier, but in this particular case, the history goes back to the early 13th century. And so the big difference with monastic life is that there were no vows of poverty, and that the ladies lived in individual houses, but in a gated, closed community, and they would go and pray a couple of times a day in the church, in the morning, usually afternoon, evening. These places went through roughly about 4 big periods, and most of the present-day Beguinages that exist in all the way up to Amsterdam, actually, but let's say here the ones in Flanders, the ones that we see, that is history from around the 1700s. And so gradually also, as I said, 4 periods, these ladies would be involved with society. So when the first hospitals arrived around the early 1500, around by the end of the Middle Ages, these ladies would go and work there. And if we look at the one in particularly in Lier in Belgium, there was an orphanage. Actually, the orphanage burned down, I think, 70 years ago. And so these ladies were also caring there. I don't know that they were like, let's say, in monasteries. You also had, of course, nuns working in hospitals. Sometimes there were hospitals connected to monasteries, and there were schools connected to monasteries. Here, I definitely know there was also this caring aspect, maybe not necessarily the educational aspect, but I'm not entirely sure about that.
Okay.